The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, this is TV1 News. I'm Carol Kido Jr.
And I'm Tracy Pad. Join me later for all the sporting details.
In this edition, ABG unveils economic program, Central deliberates on issues, and AFL juniors in training. Prime Minister James Marape has refuted claims by the media that the government is presently experiencing a cash crisis. Marape said government accounts are being managed prudently by Treasury and Finance and planning, with revenue collection pushing 50%.
Prime Minister James Marape has refuted claims by the media on the economic crisis in the country. He said he was regretful that one of the dailies has once again misled the country with misinformation when secretaries of the relevant departments have clearly stated the contrary. The Prime Minister defended the government and explained that every week a budget management committee meets to ensure the government priorities are being retired as the government collects revenue and disburses the expenditures. He stressed that there is no issue with cash in the country and the government has not faltered in raising salaries to government workers, unlike the previous administration when in several instances delays were made to salaries. The Prime Minister added that the Treasury will release the mid-year fiscal economic outlook report to the public at the end of the month to fully outline spending past mid-year and the economic management for 2024. Marape assured all stakeholders in the country that there is no cash crisis and the government is paying for expenditures as budgeted. All expenditure is consistent with the funding plan in Budget 2024. Freddie Mo, TV1 News.
Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited has criticized Puma Energy for leaking a sensitive letter to the media without prior consultation. In a media release dated June 25, 2024, KPHL Managing Director Wapu Sonk denied accusations of non-cooperation, explaining that KPHL has been negotiating with Puma on long-term supply terms due to Puma's inability to provide spot cargo. Sonk detailed a recent incident where Puma initially refused to buy an 8 million litres shipment of Jet A1 fuel from KPHL, sourced from ExxonMobil. This refusal tied to the absence of a nearly $800 million, almost 4 billion kina long-term supply deal over 24 months, led to financial losses for KPHL, including demurrage costs and a discounted sale price. He stressed that despite financial strains and impacts on foreign reserves, KPHL has stepped in to support the country by importing 3 fuel cargoes recently. The autonomous Bougainville government has endorsed the Anchoring Bougainville Economy program as a strategic initiative aimed at revitalizing the region's economic framework as it moves towards political independence. President Ismail Torama announced this in ABG Parliament this week, stating that this program has been identified as an immediate priority for the Bougainville administration.
Autonomous Bougainville Government President Ismail Torama says a deliberate approach for immediate intervention to create the economic landscape to align revenue streams under Bougainville-owned policies and legislations for economic development. Torama said The acting Chief Secretary, Kenneth Nane, has been appointed to oversee the program's implementation, ensuring a unified government approach. Under the Anchoring Bougainville Economy Program are various work streams being implemented. Under the economic work streams, there are three main pillars. The first pillar aims to establish a Bougainville-owned investment registry. Toroama explains this will enable the registration of all Bougainville-based and owned businesses and investments to be grounded on Bougainville. A draft memorandum of agreement between the ABG and the National Government's Investment Promotion Authority is nearing finalization. Once signed, this MOA will pave the way for legislative development and the migration of IPA functions to Bougainville. The second pillar focuses on transforming the current Bougainville Tax Office into the Bougainville Revenue House. This includes drafting new taxation laws covering GST, personal income tax and small business tax, and establishing Bougainville's own taxation regime. The third pillar involves creating a dedicated ABG Treasury Office, envisioned as the Consolidated Revenue Facility for Bougainville. A concept paper is being finalized, which will guide the formulation of relevant policies and legislation for the new Treasury Department. President Toroama also announced plans to establish new constitutional offices, including 2 new courts for Bougainville, which will form the third arm of the government. This is also a key workstream under the Anchoring Bougainville Economy Program. Mary Silla Kelaton, TV1 News.
The Census 2024 operations in West New Britain started with an official launch at Hoskins Secondary School, organized by the Hoskins local level government. Governor Sasindran Mutavell inaugurated the event, highlighting the significance of the census in shaping future development plans. Streamlined data collection, Hoskins and Mosa LLGs adopted the computerized assisted personal interview method, while the remaining 10 LLGs opted for paper-assisted interviews. Challenges, however, surfaced in Kandrin Coastal and Gasmata LLGs due to adverse weather conditions complicating census operations. Governor Sasindran Mutavell thanked participants and urged them to strive for accurate data collection, crucial for effective governance and resource allocation. Hoskins LLG, at the forefront of the census efforts, deployed 2 trainers, 14 supervisors and 60 enumerators across 50 census units, targeting a household count of 6,799 by June 30th. West New Britain Provincial Census Coordinator Chris Marisa noted the smooth start of operations with 130 tablets equipped with essential applications. Despite logistical hurdles, Marisa reassured the public of support to overcome challenges encountered during the census. Governor Mutavell handed over tablets to field teams, acknowledging the commitment of volunteers and officials amidst logistical complexities.
I'm truly happy that all these volunteers, so far, you have gone through so many trainings, irrespective of challenges in terms of resources, logistics and all, but you are still committed to this cause. So I wish you all the best, and use every available resources within the provincial government, for the benefit of completing the census successfully. And I thank the LLG manager, LLG presidents and ward councillors for their involvement also, because without their involvement, we cannot reach the nook and corner of Western Britain, especially the remotest areas where we need low this information. My heart goes for Kendra and Gloucester, because it is going to be very tough and challenging. We will make sure you got some, jackets or something life-saving, gears. I think waiting for national census may not be fair. It will take a long time. So one gears we can source it locally. We should source it locally and support our enumerators or securities and all the interviews.
Meanwhile, Mosa LLG President Jim Ninda emphasized the importance of reaching every household, stressing compassionate engagement with residents during data collection. Meantime, the Nakanai District Development Authority Board allocated 100,000 kina to support census activities, including a 10,000 kina payment to Heli New Guinea for helicopter services for access to remote areas bordering Mosa and Gasmata LLGs. The Papua New Guinea Law Society, Papua New Guinea Center for Judicial Excellence and the Department of Justice and Attorney General hosted a seminar on ethical practice requirements for lawyers yesterday in Port Moresby.
Papua New Guinea lawyers from the public and private sectors attended a seminar on ethical practice requirements for lawyers hosted by the PNG Law Society, PNG Center for Judicial Excellence and the Department for Justice and Attorney General. PNG Law Society President Hubert Namani, Secretary DJEC Dr. Eric Kwa, and the Deputy President of the Industrial Court of Questions were the main speakers of the seminar. In his welcome address, Namani reminded lawyers that they had a responsibility to uphold the highest ethical standards to ensure that there is justice, fairness, and integrity in their conduct as lawyers.
We bear a profound responsibility to uphold the highest ethical standards in our practices.
Namani said there are rules in the Lawyers Act that outlines the restrictions of the conduct of lawyers. It is specifically outlined in Section 1A of the Lawyers Act.
3 of the rules is very clear. It provides the duty of lawyers. And let me read Section 1A, not to engage in conduct, whether in pursuit or profession or otherwise, which 1 is illegal, 2 is dishonest, 3 is unprofessional, or 4 is prejudicial to the administration of justice, and may otherwise bring the legal profession into disrepute.
Namani reminded the lawyers that they must at all times abide by the rules when practicing as professional lawyers. Dr. Kwa said the department, in collaboration with the PNG Law Society, have amended the Lawyers Act and have now improved the standard of lawyers in Papua New Guinea. He said some of the amendments they did is by providing housing and transport allowance. This was made to ensure that lawyers are taken care of so they can uphold higher ethical standards when doing their job.
What we did was that we brought about the amendments to the Lawyers Act to deal with 2 issues. 1 is your conduct, and 2 is for promotional purposes. How do we promote the law society? How do we improve its performance?
Mary Silla Kelaton, TVWAN News.
You're watching TVWAN News. After the break, West New Britain Province receives drones to enhance law enforcement. Those stories and more when we return. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Find PNG made.
Open X.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bougainville.
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, My whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles. Tastier, but you like it more.
Superstition ain't the way.
Digicel Business. We help grow your business with secure, reliable and cost-effective ICT solutions. We will manage your technology so you can power your vision for your business with the best solutions to offer. Accelerate your business growth with Digicel Business Cloud Solutions with cloud platform services, disaster recovery as a service and backup as a service. Talk to our cloud solutions experts today. Digicel Business. Better solutions for better business.
Welcome back. Central Provincial Assembly this week deliberated on matters of provincial importance for the past 2 days. 2 bills that are to be passed in this sitting session are the Provincial Works, Technical and Advisory Unit Bill 2024, and this is the final sitting of 2024 with the local level government presidents before they return to their LLGs for the upcoming LLG elections.
Of the 2 bills that are to be passed by the Central Provincial Government in this session of sitting, only the Provincial Works, Technical and Advisory Unit Bill 2024 was presented to the Provincial Assembly today by Provincial Member Rufina Peter. The proposed legislation is an important part of Central Province Government strategy. Provincial Member Peter says the province's biggest challenge is to improve the way programs and projects are being delivered in priority strategic areas of the province's Integrated Development Plan, launched recently in May. Peter observed that since assuming office as provincial member, the system is simply not working for effective government and service delivery to the people. The proposed bill presents the Assembly with the opportunity to unite and start working together to implement the provincial plan. A feature of the bill worth mentioning is the role of the unit to assist the provincial administration in liaising between districts and national government agencies in planning, project design and management. The system the provincial government aims to build in creating this bill ensures that projects are approved upon satisfaction that they are in line with their development plan, technically sound in design and properly costed with appropriate delivery times. The proposed bill was commended to the Assembly today by Peter for deliberation in the next sitting. Maricela Kelleton, TVWAN News.
The provincial government of West New Britain has bolstered its law enforcement capabilities by presenting 2 drones to the Correctional Services and Mobile Squad 19. In a small ceremony attended by West New Britain Governor Sasindran Mutuvell, CS Commander Superintendent Dimon Gar was the first to test the new equipment. Superintendent Gar expressed his gratitude, stating on behalf of the West New Britain Police Commander.
I'd like to thank you, Honorable Governor Gar and members taking the continuous support of resources, funding operations for police and police,
The drones will be deployed by MS-19 with designated police officials set to undergo training to operate the equipment effectively to help them carry out their duties using the equipment efficiently.
Commander clearly said it. Once trained and used, this will be really useful at the time of jailbreak out. They can send out this one to see where the people are hiding. And of course, West New Britain Provincial Administration have an excellent IT team. They can also help both police and correctional service in terms of training. Or we can even bring any expertise, who can just train them.
Governor Mutuvell also highlighted the support from West New Britain Provincial Administration's IT team, which will assist in training. Meantime, new PPC blocks have been opened for male and juvenile detainees, and the construction has begun on the province's first female holding cell. PNG Power Limited has announced a partnership with Korean companies Nuriflex and Fluent Grid to launch Phase 1 of an advanced metering infrastructure and smart metering project. This initiative, funded by the PNG government's 211 million kina grid stabilization and rehabilitation program, represents a $6 million investment aimed at improving energy management and reducing losses. Initially targeting 10,000 industrial and commercial customers, the project plans to enhance asset management, revenue collection, and energy consumption monitoring. Installation is set to begin in February 2025, marking a step towards a more efficient electricity grid across the country. The Papua New Guinea Tourism Promotion Authority has celebrated a milestone with the successful convening of its Tourism Sector Development Plan 2022 to 2026 Implementation Steering Committee meeting. Held at the APEC House in Port Moresby on Wednesday, 22nd June, the event marked a step towards advancing the nation's tourism ambitions. Chaired by TPA's CEO Eric Mossman Uvovo, the quarterly assembly served as a linchpin in the execution of the Tourism Sector Development Policy, a crafted framework aimed at orchestrating and bolstering Papua New Guinea's tourism landscape. Key stakeholders, including TPA's divisional executive managers, senior officers, and teams from policy and strategic planning and monitoring and evaluation, converged to deliberate on pivotal strategies outlined in the TSDP 2022 to 2026. The meeting commenced with a review of the previous session's minutes, paving the way for a robust agenda tailored to the current year's objectives. A highlight of the gathering was the endorsement of terms for the three critical subcommittees: PNG Cruise Development, Agri-Tourism, and Kokoda Trail Development. These subcommittees are poised to spearhead targeted initiatives within the tourism sector, ensuring focused efforts and impactful interventions. Mr. Uvovo underscored the TSDP's pivotal role in fostering growth and sustainability within Papua New Guinea's tourism sector. When emphasizing the plan's alignment with the Medium-Term Development Plan 3 and its integration with MTDP 4, he said their approach encompasses primary and enabling subsectors, emphasizing timely interventions across international and domestic tourism, regulatory standards, and cultural preservation. Despite challenges including funding constraints, Uvovo stressed the importance of collaborative partnerships to achieve shared sectoral objectives and national strategic goals. And now the finance news. The kina closed lower at $0.2601 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2526 $0.3772 Australian dollars, $0.2283 euro, and 40.08 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee, cocoa, copper, and copper closed lower, while palm oil and crude oil closed higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries also closed lower. You're watching TV1 News. We'll bring you stories from abroad after these messages.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Add your kakadu, get up and big smile on face. Time for give chicken a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
When you're spending time with family,
when you've got a big day ahead. When you have given it all you've got. When you're putting on a feast, that's when you want the best. That's when you want flame rice. New flame rice. Win him, Olgeta.
Enjoy life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Young or roll, a scale rice family meal with toast. We'll bring out the smiles, cause it's a favorite by miles. Census, go, scale rice, low scale price. Census, go, scale rice, low scale price. But you like him?
Beauty is my business, but beauty sure is a tough game. Filters are great, but great skin, better. And that's why my skin deserves the best. So I choose self-care, soaps that gently nourish my skin, resulting in a radiant look, made with tropical ingredients. I trust self-care from City Pharmacy, so bring it on! My skin is ready and so am I.
Welcome back. The Solomon Islands have agreed to a new three-tier arrangement with Australia to guide its security policy that seems to exclude outside countries, including China. Under the new arrangement, Solomon Islands will deal with security problems first through its police, then second through assistance from Melanesian Spearhead Group countries, and finally with support from Pacific Islands Forum countries. However, it is not clear exactly how this new framework will guide Honiara in the future. As Russian forces advance on Kharkiv for a second time, Ukrainian civilians are adapting to life under constant bombardment. Children continue to receive their education underground, and stage performers are finding innovative ways to bring smiles to the war-weary population. Europe ABC correspondent reports.
The remnants of Russian attacks scatter Kharkiv streets, but the city's spirit carries on and locals adapt. Underground metro stations have been transformed into colourful classrooms for children.
I'm safe here. I want to come here every day.
I like to play and have lessons here.
Just toddlers when the war broke out, these kids have never known school to be anything different.
Being in here, they're able to distance themselves from what is happening on the street, from what could be. Of course, they were very scared when we first started the class.
Moving classes underground is the only way to make sure that kids here in Kharkiv can continue going to school safely. This area northwest of the city has been heavily shelled and remains under risk. This old theatre was shelled early on in the war. Now it's being used to make supplies for soldiers.
It's not just soldiers, but everyday people dedicating themselves to defending our country.
A volunteer by day, Vladimir Kozlov, sings opera by night.
If, through our concerts, we enable people to disconnect from this and sleep peacefully at night, that's good.
After performing in underground subway stations and bunkers for the past 2 years, his beloved theatre in Kharkiv has finally reopened, but the stage and audience have been moved to the basement for safety. As with all protracted conflicts, those living through it cling on to the things that resemble their past lives.
The federal government's upcoming ban on vape sales, restricting them to pharmacies only, is generating divided opinions. Labor is defending its decision to moderate the restrictions amidst varying reactions from the public and stakeholders.
First, to stop the next generation of vapers.
This is a good strategy to limit that.
It should be a personal choice.
I think it should be over the age of 18 with a script.
From next week, vapes will only be available to adults with a prescription at pharmacies. Then, from October, a doctor's script won't be required before purchasing the plain packaged product.
Gone will be the variety of different ridiculous flavours that are obviously designed not to help a hardened smoker, but to recruit kids into nicotine addiction.
It has the backing of the peak doctor's body.
All of these guardrails are much stronger than they are now, and we can't let perfect be the enemy of good.
But vape store owners say the move will only boost the black market and leave many out of work.
Just this company alone, that's 3 businesses that'll go under, about 20 people out of jobs, including myself.
The Pharmacy Guild is pushing against it, saying it will turn pharmacists into tobacconists and won't solve the problem.
I've been contacted by multiple pharmacies really raising concerns about what it means for the safety of their pharmacy and staff, being a target for organised crime.
It's a significant backdown from the government's original plan. Labor forced to scrap its requirement for prescriptions in order to secure Greens support. Both are defending the amendments.
A significant amendment, but one that very much keeps faith with the original intention of our reforms.
There'll be a restriction on the flavours that are available in a similar way to what there is with tobacco.
The opposition wants it more in line with tobacco.
Our model will be a strictly regulated retail model, similar to the kind of model that regulates tobacco products.
The real marker of success will be whether it stops a growing number of young people from getting hooked.
The Pacific Regional and National Security Conference wrapped up today with a key panel discussion this week focused on national security. The panel, consisting of a few Pacific leaders, emphasized that effective national security strategies require buy-in at all levels of government and the community. This would ensure broad support and successful implementation. Fiji and Cook Islands called for a need for a whole-of-government and whole-of-community approach. Victorians will soon have the option to have their illicit drugs professionally tested before use, with the first test to be introduced at music festivals this summer. The state government plans to trial the most effective method for pill testing over an 18-month period, with the Premier confirming that drug checking will become a permanent fixture.
12 years ago, Adriana Buchanti lived every parent's worst nightmare.
Epping Police came to tell me he was never coming home again.
Daniel was 34. He died after taking drugs at a festival. Ever since, she's demanded pill testing.
If you have a service where they test it and they say, this will kill you, I can tell you nobody wants to come out of a nightclub or a festival in a body bag.
It will soon be a reality.
It does not make drugs legal and it does not make drugs safe. But it does mean we are going to give young people the information they need.
A surge in overdoses, along with testing success internationally and in other states, has prompted action in Victoria. Mobile units will attend 10 festivals this summer before a fixed site is set up in the inner city next year.
So why wouldn't we use this health-based approach, this evidence-based approach? Because if it has the potential to save just one life, then it's absolutely been worth it.
The free service will cost $4 million and comes with expert and multi-party support.
And so these services are about creating a non-judgmental space in which people can get access to information which supports them to make better choices.
If someone's got money to buy expensive festival tickets and expensive drugs, why should taxpayers be picking up the tab on quality control?
The Police Association has big concerns. It says pill testing is not the panacea of illicit drug use and undermines their efforts. It also wants the government to explain how police are meant to enforce the law at festivals and other key events.
We need to see the end to the tough on drugs, war on drugs kind of policing that we've historically seen around drug use.
But the opposition say it will stop pill testing should it win office.
This is giving a green light to young people to say it's okay to take these pills.
There's still a lot of work to be done. I think this is a step in the right direction.
And that concludes our news segment. Tracy Parr joins you for the sports after the break.
Hi, with the help of Palmolive Naturals shampoo and conditioner, with these 3 quick and easy tips, I'm going to show you that more natural, beautiful hair is achievable. Step 1, massage your scalp during washing with shampoo. Step 2, apply conditioner to the tips of your hair. Step 3, gently towel dry your hair. There you have it. For natural, beautiful hair, use Palmolive Naturals shampoo and conditioner. Have a great hair day.
Hi, I'm Chef Jules Hennow, and this is where my true inspiration for cooking started. Like most of us, I learned to cook from my mum. Nothing beats simple recipes where fresh local produce is at the heart, especially when it's a home-cooked meal, prepared and shared with the ones you love. And in PNG, no meal is complete without rice. And my choice is always True Guy. True Guy, true inspiration through generations.
The Power Play Awards Papua New Guinea are back. Launched by ExxonMobil to recognize its valued external partners, the program celebrates the accomplishments of exceptional women and the men that support them across both the LNG and decarbonization industries. Are you Papua New Guinea's next power player? Applications now open across 4 categories: the Rising Star, the Low Carbon Accelerator, the Ambassador, and the Pioneer. Visit pnglng.com to enter today.
Gimme 5! Somebody brings to you this great offer from Digicel. 5 GB, 5 days for 5 kina. Visit a Digicel store or Cell Money agent. Put money in your Cell Money wallet and dial *888 to buy today.
Friday night footy on your home of rugby league. Kennedy with the try. Shark Park has erupted.
Now there's a problem for the Roosters. Skelton is away. Cut down by Young. Salmon gets there.
No. It's a pass away. Katoa! Katoa!
Welcome back. AFL PNG National Talent Academy program is again thrilled to announce a train-on squad for the season-end tours to Australia and Fiji from August to December 2024. From the training squad, a final team of 30 players, each for the under 17, 16, 15 and 14 boys and girls, will be finalized. This forms part of the AFL South Pacific High Performance Pathway, supported by the Australian government's Pacific Horse Sports Program.
Between 60 to 70 young AFL enthusiasts, both boys and girls, are currently going through their vetting process before teams are trimmed to 30, including 5 non-travelling reserves for the upcoming tours. The squad comprises current players from last year and new members from this year's competition. There are 3 major events scheduled to take place in Australia between August, September and November, while the last tour will be to Fiji for the Oceania Challenge in early December. PNG AFL Academy Manager Prudence Sindriwan explained that in preparation for the tours, they have assembled a train-on squad identified and picked from the current PNG AFL Current Academy system and program held last year and this year at the Murray Barracks. The girls and boys have been committed and have shown a lot of enthusiasm in training.
We have new kids on board, as well as some of the ones got selected last year. So we have last year kids and this year kids that got selected through the talent ID at Murray Barracks. So that's we have the kids, all the kids that been through the pathway. We all have them here for trainings. Our trainings is Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 4 p.m.
By August 30, the PNG Under-16 boys and girls will be in Cairns for the Far North Queensland Challenge with the Cairns Select side and Cape York. September 21, PNG Under-14 boys will be touring the Sunshine Coast, followed by the Under-17 boys and girls for the Pacific Academy on November 13, which will include PNG, Nauru, New Zealand, Samoa, Solomon Islands, Tonga and Vanuatu, with a special appearance by South Africa. The year will conclude with the annual Oceania Cup Challenge for the under-15 boys and girls in Fiji from December 4 to 9.
Under-16 tours will be in Cairns. That's for the under-16 boys and girls. Under-14s will be only for boys. That's in Sunshine Coast, Brisbane. For the under-17 in November will be boys and girls. Followed by the under-15s in Fiji. That's going to be boys and girls as well.
She said after they finalize all the travel documentation, and then the teams will be announced by early July. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
After 3 weeks without any footy as per QRL by schedules, the PNG Hunters seems to have regrouped and refocused, ready to hit the ground running when they take on Ipswich Jets in round 16 of the QRL Hostbus Cup this Sunday in Ipswich, Brisbane. While having consecutive byes would be seen as a setback, however, from a professional viewpoint, the Hunters are embracing the challenge and sticking to their normal training process with a positive mindset.
While it may seem ages ago since they played their last game back in round 13 against Clydesdale, the Hunters are not making any excuses for coming back to training last week after breaking camp for a week during King's birthday week. At today's training session, Hunters coach Paul Ayton said there's a lot of good feeling around the camp and good to see the boys refreshed and bringing back new energy level to training after the long break.
Really good, really good. There's a good feeling around the place. I think we've all been apart from each other too long, and having the boys rested that last week without playing, I think did us really well. Full of energy, lots of talk. I think we're all, staff included, really excited to be back together and playing again.
While there's been so much talk about playing finals footy again for now, the Hunters' main focus is worrying about the now, and that is concentrate on where their strengths are and what they can control, while at the back end of their minds, finals would be the ultimate goal.
It's a good thing. That's good that we know. The next thing is to put that into action. So we know how good we can be, and we know the amount of games left and what's probably taken to get in. But then it comes to what we do this week, what we do at training this week, what we do in the game. So a lot of focus is mainly on that. It's a distant thought, the finals, but yeah, we just need to get through this week. I mean, I know it's across everyone's mind, all the players' mind as well, but that there is a possibility of the 8. But our focus is on Ipswich this week and breaking that down again. Our errors, penalties, and our defensive system. That's what we're focusing on this week.
The coach said while Captain Ila'alu is out for this weekend, there's a lot of hype and enthusiasm in camp after the long break, but furthermore, he made mention of Junior Rob's 50th milestone game and has been given the captaincy role, which is going to be a special occasion for the Hunters' wrecking ball against Ipswich Jets this Sunday.
Yeah, Ila'alu's out. Junior Rob will move from prop to 13. Mana Sakai comes on the bench for his second game in Host Plus Cup, and Sakis Kamadi's in this squad as well. Junior Rob will captain the side. As I said, he had a really slow start to the season. He had a few nigglies, he had a few personal things that he had to go through, but he's kept turning up to training. He led the young boys. We've got 2 squads, and he led that young squad, and he more than earned his spot. He cemented his spot, and he keeps leading from the front, so I think he deserves the captaincy.
After the Jets game this Sunday, the Hunters will play North Devils in another away game in round 17 before they host Central Queensland Campers in Port Moresby on Sunday 14 July, followed by Sunshine Coast Falcons on July 21. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Southern Highlands native and PNG Hunters pit star Solo Wane continues to release his milestone journey in the Hunters system and staying injury-free after playing his 50th game back in round 8. Wane has made 58 appearances for the Hunters since his debut back in 2021.
Despite numerous setbacks due to injuries, the Hunters veteran winger has become a mainstay for the team going into his 4th season since his debut in 2021 alongside his Wigman teammate and now Hunters rake Chuda Rimbu. After a season-ending foot injury in 2022, Wane had a strong mindset to get through adversity and work hard to earn his spot back, which he did last year, 2023. Wan, back on the training paddock this week after the bye, is again determined to work hard and stay injury-free and finish off the season on a high.
I want to take this time to thank our Heavenly Father for bringing me this far. It's been half of the season now and haven't got any injuries or any major injuries, so I want to thank God for that. And I think so far we've been doing good. And for myself personally, I'm still trying to get there, so I'm still trying my best week in, week out and putting the work on, so yeah.
One of Wan's biggest career highlights was making the national team in 2022, putting on an outstanding performance in the Pacific Test match against Fiji Bati. Commenting on the prospect of representing the country again, Wan casually said, "At the moment, there's a lot of backs also aiming for the sport in the national team, but for now, he's committed to the Hunters to put his best foot forward and hopefully helping the team to the final and then go from there."
I think I just work on myself each week in, week out, help the team to do better, and then if we make it to the finals, I think there'll be some great opportunities for, I think, most of the Hunters players to make it to the national side. So yeah, I think we just look forward for each game each week, so one game at a time, and then see what the future holds.
Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
It's crunch time for the New South Wales Blues, who must win tonight's State of Origin match in Melbourne to stop a third consecutive series win for the Queensland Maroons. The Maroons won the first game 3 weeks ago in Sydney after Blues centre Joseph Suaalii was set off in the 7th minute, leaving just 12 New South Wales men take on 3 Queenslanders. For about 60 minutes, the Blues seems to be in the game, but the Maroons came home strongly to win 38-10, Queensland's biggest ever win in Sydney. Dean Bedford of Radio New Zealand, in his analysis of tonight's games, states that with the Blues staying competitive for much of the game in Origin 1, their fans now expect them to win, and many of the pundits have even installed them as favourites. New South Wales have made 5 changes. The first talked about is the return of one of Rugby League's most controversial figures, Latrell Mitchell, at centre. For Queensland, there are just 2 changes, both on the bench, with one of the new players being the Warriors forward, Carl Capewell. After losing the opening match of the 2024 State of Origin series, the New South Wales Blues are out for vengeance tonight at the MCG as they take on Queensland in the second game of the series. While the main game will be what's on the minds of most, it's not all that will be taking place at the Melbourne Cricket Ground tonight as the state of Victoria turns it on for what will be a near-capacity crowd for the Origin Series opener.
A changed New South Wales Blues side will make the trek to Melbourne Cricket Ground in an attempt to keep the 2024 State of Origin series alive against the Queensland Maroons. The Blues have made 5 changes for Game 2 of the series. The first, the compulsory one of those, was to replace Joseph Suaalii. He's suspended for the hit on Rhys Wells, with the superstar and possible X-Factor Latrell Mitchell coming into the side for the first time in sky blue colours since 2021. Elsewhere, Dylan Edwards is back into the side for James Tedesco after being replaced during the camp for Game 1 with injury, while Nico Hines has also been axed from the spine. Mitchell Moses comes into the team for him with a mandate of improving the kicking game. Cameron Murray is also back from injury, replacing Cameron McInnes, while Hudson Young is the unlucky forward to miss out on the bans, which has been rebalanced. In his place, utility Connor Watson comes into the side with the ability to play hooker or across the backline positions. The big call for Billy Slater was to drop Selvin Cobo. The coach explained after his squad selection that Cobo's axing was a mix of form and fitness, but it's understood he would have been fit to play Wednesday evening if selected. In his place, Kurt Capewell, who himself has only just come back from injury and has struggled for form at the Warriors, but he has never let Queensland down before. Felice Kafusi is the other man into the side to replace Jermaine Hopwood, with the middle forward to miss out with a back injury after making his origin debut in Game 1. Queensland were also sloppy in patches though, and without major changes will rely on the same group of 17 to do the job again, with the likes of Harry Grant needing improved performances to repeat the result they managed in Sydney, a place they often struggled to win even during enormous run of success over the years. Queensland would obviously love nothing more than a dead rubber back at home, but there is little doubt they will be up against it during Game 2 against a fired-up Blues side looking to make amends for Game 1 and capitalizing on a similar effort level with an even playing ground. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
This and the sports segment. Over to you, Carol.
Thank you, Tracy. And now we'll have the weather forecast for the main centers for the next 24 hours. Southern region, Port Moresby and Kerma fine to partly cloudy. Alotau cloudy with some rain showers. Momase, Ley partly cloudy with some rain showers. Wewak partly sunny with few afternoon showers. New Guinea Islands, Lorengau and Buka partly cloudy with possible few showers and possible thunderstorms. Kokopo partly cloudy with possible afternoon showers, then mostly fine. Highlands, Mount Hagen partly cloudy at times. Goroka, Barnes and Kundiawa, morning fog clearing to partly sunny with possible brief afternoon showers at spots. Ocean forecast, Coral Sea sees rough to very rough at times with southeast to easterly winds of 20 to 30 knots, increasing to 33 to 40 knots at times. Pacific Ocean, seas smooth to slight with east to northeast winds of 10 to 20 knots. Coastal waters forecast, waters of southern PNG and Indonesian border to Daru, to Kiwai Islands, to Kerama, to Yule Island, to Hood Point, to Samarai Islands. Seas 1.5 to 2 meters, rising to 3 meters, at times along warning areas. Waters of Samarai Island to Cape Vogel and all Milimbe Islands. Seas 2 to 3 meters, rising to 4 meters along gale warning areas. Waters of Cape Vogel to Huon Gulf to Finchafen, seas 1.5 to 2 meters. And that wraps up another edition of TV1 News. Thanks for your company. Have a pleasant evening. Bye for now.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.